Welcome to another episode of the Retirepreneur Podcast. I'm your host with this week's executive summary for busy entrepreneurs building their second act business. Today's episode is designed for maximum impact in minimum time. Okay, so today we're doing a bit of a strategic deep dive. We're looking at the latest Retirepreneur Weekly newsletter. And the focus, it's all about continuous learning in your second act, why it's not just, a nice to have, but actually pretty crucial.
Yeah, it really zeroes in on that idea. The
Yeah.
newsletter, particularly looking at founder Kurt Rose's experiences, kind of suggests it's fundamental.
Exactly. And the core belief seems to be that getting new knowledge at this stage, well, it's less about the specific skill itself, maybe.
Right. It's more about reigniting that spark, that curiosity. It's about fundamentally shifting how you see your own potential, moving from feeling maybe a bit stuck, post-career towards actual growth.
Okay, that resonates. Moving from stagnation to growth. So for everyone listening who's short on time, our mission here is clear. Pull out the 3 most actionable, high-impact insights from this.
Insights that can help you build income or impact, or maybe both, in this second act.
Precisely. So let's tackle that first big hurdle. It's often that little voice inside, isn't it? The one that says, I'm too old for this, too old to learn new tricks.
Oh, absolutely, that inner critic.
Yeah. What's the real story from like a brain science perspective? What does the latest neuroscience actually tell us about that belief?
Well, that's the fascinating part. The science is actually incredibly encouraging. It completely flips that old narrative on its head.
Really?
Yeah. For years, the thinking was, cognitive decline is just inevitable after a certain point. But the newer research, especially on neuroplasticity, it shows older adults keep a significant ability to form new connections in the brain.
So neuroplasticity doesn't just like vanish at 60.
Not at all. The brain stays adaptable. It just needs meaningful challenges, things that stretch it a bit. In fact, some studies we looked at suggest that people who regularly learn complex new skills after 60, they can actually slow down measurable cognitive decline. We're talking maybe 15 to 30%.
15 to 30%. Wow, that's huge.
It is. It's about actively engaging the brain, keeping it healthy, essentially.
But beyond just, keeping the brain healthy biologically, the source material really emphasizes the confidence aspect, right? The psychological win.
Oh, absolutely. That's arguably the biggest payoff. Imagine you haven't really done formal learning for maybe 20 years. Then you prove to yourself you can master something complex and modern. Maybe it's a software tool, maybe a new language.
Right.
That feeling of accomplishment, that self-proof, it just spills over. It demolishes that self-doubt about whether you can handle running a modern business.
It changes the whole story you tell yourself. Instead of, I'm winding down, it becomes, wow, I can still learn, I can still adapt, I can still grow. Which brings us back to that great Henry Ford quote mentioned in the newsletter. The greatest thing in life is to keep your mind young. And it sounds like learning challenging things is how you do it.
That productive struggle, as they call it, that's the key. Showing up, even for a short time each day, and wrestling with something a bit difficult. It genuinely reshapes your sense of self.
From retiree to active learner, adaptive entrepreneur.
Precisely.
Okay, so if we accept that the brain is capable and the science says it is, the next big question is strategy. What should a busy retirepreneur focus on learning? Which leads us nicely into the second core insight, strategic skill selection.
Right.
The advice is pick a stretch, not a snack. Choose something meaningful, something that maybe even slightly intimidates you. How does that translate into practical choices?
Yeah, this is critical. It's not just about learning for learning's sake, especially if the goal is building a second act business. The learning needs to be, income enabling.
Okay, not just a hobby.
Exactly. Not just dabbling. The analysis from Kurt Rose really highlighted a few key areas, specific skill clusters that are pretty much non-negotiable if you want a profitable, modern second act venture.
All right, let's break those down. What are these income-enabling skills?
Okay, first up, digital marketing skills. This is huge. If you're offering services, consulting, selling anything online, you just can't rely on your old network or word of mouth indefinitely.
Right, you need reach.
You need reach, and you need efficient ways to find new clients or customers. Understanding the basics of online promotion is key.
That definitely sounds like a stretch for some folks. What's next?
AI tools. We're talking specifically about getting comfortable with generative AI like ChatGPT, Claude, those sorts of tools.
Why AI specifically?
Leverage. Speed. Imagine a consultant, maybe 70 years old. If they learn how to use AI prompts effectively, they can suddenly generate content ideas, draft emails, outline presentations way faster than before. It's like having a super-powered assistant.
Ah, so it's a force multiplier. Helps you compete on speed, maybe.
Exactly. It levels the playing field in some ways. Third is authority building,
Authority building, meaning.
using platforms strategically. So think LinkedIn if you're in the B2B space, maybe YouTube if you're sharing expertise or teaching something. It's about positioning yourself as the go-to expert in your niche. That directly helps attract clients.
Makes sense. Build trust, build visibility. And the last one.
Just the simple tech tools that make running the business easier. Things that lower the tech barrier.
Like what, specifically?
We're talking tools like Canva, great for creating professional-looking graphics without being a designer. QuickBooks for handling the basic bookkeeping simply. And a platform like Kajabi.
Kajabi. Tell us a bit more about that one. What does it let you do?
Kajabi's fantastic for anyone selling knowledge, so coaches, consultants, course creators. It's basically an all-in-one system. You could build a simple website, host your online courses or membership, manage your email list, take payments, all without needing a big tech team.
So it simplifies the whole online business infrastructure.
Massively.
Yeah.
If your second act involves selling expertise online, getting to grips with something like Kajabi is really strategic. It saves time, saves money, lets you focus on your actual content or service.
Yeah, the newsletter had those great little examples, someone learning Canva at 68 for their marketing, or another person figuring out Facebook ads at 70 to get consulting clients.
Exactly. That's the point. These aren't just random skills. They directly feed the business engine. They make second act entrepreneurship much more viable today.
Because the tools themselves are more user-friendly now.
They are definitely designed more for the average user, not just tech wizards.
Hmm.
But they still require that initial investment of time, that willingness to learn, even if it's just 30 minutes a day.
Which leads us perfectly into the third insight, which is all about the how implementation. The idea here is consistency beats intensity. So we know why, we know what. Now, how do we actually fit this learning in?
Yeah, the how is where the rubber meets the road, isn't it?
Definitely. What did the research or the source material say about the time commitment? How much time was successful mature learners actually dedicating?
The key finding was that small, consistent effort really pays off much more than, say, trying to cram everything into one long weekend session.
Right, the binge learning approach doesn't stick as well.
Exactly. Most of the successful folks seem to dedicate a pretty focused block of time, maybe 30 to 45 minutes most days.
30 to 45 minutes. Okay, that feels manageable for most people, even if they're busy.
It seems to be the sweet spot. Long enough to make progress, but not so long that you burn out or it feels overwhelming. And if you do that consistently, say, every weekday,
Yeah.
over about 90 days, you build real, noticeable capability. That steady, small deposit approach really works for skill acquisition.
The compound effect of learning. Okay, so where should people start? If they want to dedicate that 30, 45 minutes, where do they go?
Well, there are lots of options. Coursera has more academic stuff. YouTube is obviously a huge resource, though you have to sift through it. But the source specifically highlighted Udemy.
Udemy. Why Udemy for this particular audience, do you think?
A couple of reasons. First, it's very focused on practical, hands-on skills, often taught by people actually doing the work. They have a massive library. It's something like 200,000 courses.
Wow.
Second, affordability and access. They have sales constantly, where courses drop to maybe $20, $30, sometimes even like $10 or $15. And crucially, you buy it once, you get lifetime access.
Lifetime access, that's a big deal.
Huge. But you can go back and revisit it years later if you need a refresher. So it's great value for long-term skill building. The tip, though, is definitely wait for a sale and always check the student reviews carefully before you buy.
Good practical advice. But okay, even 30 minutes. If you're facing something big like learn AI or master digital marketing, it can still feel kind of daunting, right? How do you get past that initial inertia?
Ah, yes. Overcoming the overwhelm. This is where that technique mentioned comes in the 10-minute expert idea.
The 10-minute expert. Explain that.
Instead of trying to tackle the whole massive topic at once, you break it down into tiny micro-tasks.
Yeah.
And you focus on mastering just one very small piece each day or each session.
Okay, give me an example. What does that look like?
Sure. Let's say you're learning Canva. Your goal for today isn't design a marketing campaign. It's just figure out how to change the background color of this template. Or learn how to use this one specific text effect. Tiny.
Or for AI.
For AI, maybe your goal isn't understand large language models. It's master writing one type of prompt, like a prompt that helps you brainstorm 5 blog post titles. Just that one thing.
Ah, I see. So you focus on a micro skill.
Exactly. Micromastery.
Yeah.
Because achieving that small win, getting that one little thing right, it builds confidence. It gives you momentum. You feel like you did learn something today, even if it was small, and that keeps you going when things inevitably get a bit tougher.
It makes the big, scary mountain feel like a series of small, manageable steps.
Precisely. Small chops to fell a big tree, as the saying goes.
Love it. Okay, so this really all comes down to taking action, doesn't it? The challenge proposed in the newsletter is super simple, very low barrier.
Yeah, just 20 minutes.
Right, spend just 20 minutes, like right after listening to this, researching how you could get started learning one skill, just one. One that you know would make your second act business life easier.
No big commitment yet. Just explore. See what courses are out there, what the first step might look like. Just pure curiosity-driven research.
Exactly. And thinking about the practical side again, if you actually follow through and master some of these skills, it can directly lead to income, right? You touched on the flex work focus.
Absolutely. Online teaching or tutoring is a perfect example. Once you've got a handle on a skill, whether it's something you already knew, like accounting, or something you've learned, like specific digital marketing tactics, you can often teach it to others.
And there are platforms for that.
Yeah, places like Weezent, Chegg Tutors. They connect tutors with students. You could be teaching anything from business software to a language you speak. And the rates are pretty decent, often in the $25 to $75 an hour range, depending on the subject.
So the learning itself can become an income stream.
It definitely can. Yeah. It's flexible. You leverage your expertise. It's a great fit for many retirepreneurs.
Yeah.
It turns that learning investment into a direct return.
Okay, so to wrap this all up, the real foundation, the starting point for everything we've discussed, seems to be just staying curious.
I think that's the essence of it.
Yeah.
That final thought from the source material really nails it.
Which was, remind us.
That retirement isn't the end of learning. It's actually the beginning of learning what you want to learn, not just what your old job demanded.
Learning by choice, not obligation.
Exactly. And that willingness to stay curious, to give your mind interesting problems to solve. That's the bedrock. Everything else, the skills, the business, the impact, it's all built on top of that foundation of curiosity.
The powerful thought to end on. Your willingness to stay curious is the foundation. That's your executive briefing for this week. If you found value in these insights, share this episode with fellow retirepreneurs and subscribe to the Retirepreneur newsletter at retirepreneur.com. Follow us for weekly strategic insights, and remember, character your most successful chapter is just beginning. Until next week, keep building.